Good evening. Today, this is the video recording of semester 4, unit 9, and this is the book review. In the previous video class, I have given the video recording of film review. What are the steps that we have to follow when we are writing a review of a specific field? So, according to the text, it is said that one has to know the specific vocabulary of a particular field so that the words have a very specific meaning in that context. So, here we will see that what are the things or what are the vocabulary or what are the very specific words that has to be used in the field of book review or the literature. Book review is a balanced assessment of a book. It offers a brief description of the book's key points and provides an evaluation of its strengths and weaknesses. A book review should not be confused with book reports. Book reports are short description of books. They summarize and explain the content of a book, its theme, plot, character, and so on, and give a personal opinion, whether you like it or not. But book reviews, on the other hand, are relatively longer. They analyze a book and give a reasoned argument about the strengths and weaknesses of a book. Book reviews provide the following information. The basic information about the book, who the author is, then what the title is, who the publisher is, how many pages there are, who the publisher is, and what the price is. A preview of the book. What is it about? What is it like? How does it work? The reviewer's response. Whether or not reviewer enjoyed it and for what reason. The reviewer's advice. Whether the book is worth the time, effort and money the reader is likely to spend on it. The main purpose of a review is to offer the potential readers of the book a dispassionate assessment of the book, its literary or academic merit or practical utility. Now there are 4 distinct steps in which the book review can be written. Step 1 is before you read. Before you begin to read, think of the elements that could go into your review. What is the title of the book? What meaning does it convey to you? What is the author? Who is the author and what else has he or she has written? What does the author usually write about? Politics, religion, social issues, etc. What kind of a book is it? Is it a work of imagination or practical utility? What is the structure of the book? Is it divided into chapters? Do chapters have titles? What is the physical quality of a book? Its appearance, size, bulk, print, quality, etc. All these are the things that we have to observe or be aware of even before we start the reading of a particular book. Step 2 is we have to know the theme and the subject. Theme is the abstract idea that a book explores after reading, whether it is freedom or slavery or friendship, beauty, etc. It generally remains unstated and has to be inferred. That is, a book may not give you the direct message. It may be open-ending characters giving you the message to analyze with one's own experience or one's own knowledge. That is inference. Then, subject is the concrete manifestation of the abstract idea. There is no particular idea given. It is generally abstract, which is not to be known, but given a concrete manifestation, means the correct form is given to it. Then, for instance, to convey the abstract idea of nature's beauty, how the nature is, no one can say a particular form is the only form applicable to the nature. It's an abstract idea. Then the writer may write about flowers or rainbow, or the writer may write about a caged bird to convey the idea of a slavery. So these are the various ways in which the nature can be given the message what the writer wants to convey. Similarly, form is a broad category and it includes everything that a writer uses to transmit the content. Whatever the content is, the writer uses the language, style, narrative technique, point of view, setting, symbolism, imagery, and so on. So the writer uses all these and other such means to convey the idea behind the text. So the main theme or chief argument of the book, that can be one of the reasons to analyze. Then the substantiation, because here it is a book review, so these are the steps in which one has to think. The substantiation of the argument with proof or evidence. The important characters or events in the book. The language and style of the author. The tone and mood of the book. All these are in step 2. In step 3, we begin a short summary of the book. And at first, the paragraph introduces the main plot or the chief argument of the book, providing further details of the book. That is how the plot progresses, or who the main characters are, or how the argument is developed. Then we give after information about the book and discussion and provide once your evaluation. So step 4, after you write the first draft of the review, as soon as you have read the book and formed an opinion about it, it is advisable to not send the review for publication immediately after writing. You should reread your review, preferably after a time gap, and see if you still want to say the same things about the book in the same manner. Because the time has its own, time is ever changing. So does the characters change because of the change of the time? And the remaining things are spellings, grammar, factual information, accuracy of your quotations, then logic of your argument, language, style, tone, then balance. All balance is between information and the evaluation, right, for the readers, for whom the review is intended. So these are all the different grammatical things that a review writer has to be aware of and do the work in a systematic manner. Then there is an example of a book, how the book can be seen. A book review, how the words are used, the technical words. Here, for example, Ruskin Bond's The Blue Umbrella, a poignant story of greed and forgiveness. So, an Indian writer of British descent, Ruskin Bond is popular for his books for children. His stories resonate with a deep understanding of the emotional life in India. His novella, The Blue Umbrella, is one such poignant story which dramatizes the complexity and innocence of village life. So, this is set in Himalayan region. That can be the synopsis of the story here. The Blue Umbrella revolves around a little girl, Binya, and a village shopkeeper, Ram Bharosa. The plot involves Binya, who owns a blue umbrella, which becomes a cynosure of all eyes in little Himalayan village. Ram Bharosa wants to own the umbrella somehow or the other. The story gives us an understanding of the life of hill people and shows us the world from the little girl's point of view. So this is how the summary or the synopsis can be written about the same thing. And then Binia meets a team of tourists while grazing cows. The tourists display a bright blue umbrella which attracts Binia, and she agrees to swap her lucky charm, a pendant of leopard's claw, with the umbrella. The umbrella soon becomes the object of desire for the entire village. Ram Bharosa makes futile attempts to lure Binia to sell the umbrella. The action reaches a climax when Ram Bharosa bribes Rajaram, a boy who works in his shop, to steal it. But Rajaram gets caught and confesses. The village as a whole boycotts Ram Bharosa for his shameful attempt. It is now the turn of Ram Bharosa to feel devastated. He realizes his mistake in the story's denouncement. Binia goes to the shop on the pretext of buying a toffee and intentionally leaves the umbrella behind. Ram Bharosa tries to return it to her, but Binia asks him to keep it. A remorseful and chastened Ram Bharosa gives Binia a bear's claw pendant as a return gift. So this is how the summary and the ending of the story leads. So here assessment with the concluding paragraph, the writer says, Ruskin Bond captures the emotions of children and conveys of the likes of Ram Bharosa, and also shows the efficacy of forgiveness, the effectiveness of forgiving somebody's act. The story captures the attention of the readers and fascinates children and adults alike. So with this we complete the today's book review, in which I have given the example of Ruskin Bond's The Blue Umbrella as the example that is already given in the text. So with this you just practice the exercise 1 which is given in the text, so that you will gain the practice of what a book review is and how it has to be written. Once anything written cannot be the final draft, first it will be a rough draft. Then after a time gap when we review and the things remains the same without any changing, then we can take up the same things for the further draft. So that is how after 2-3 writings we give a final draft as a final copy to be published. So that is how the book review is written, with taking into account the steps that are given in the text. So thank you, and this is with this we complete the book review classes, review writing. Thank you to all.